Wealthsimple for beginners. Your bank has you in a mutual fund charging about 2.25% a year. And the fix takes about 15 minutes on your phone tonight in your pajamas. Here's the whole pitch. A one-ticket index ETF costs about a fifth of 1%. The bank fund costs about 2.25. Same market, 11 times the bill. Same market, same ups and downs. One of them quietly keeps 11 times more of your money every year. On $10,000, that's about $225 a year versus about 20. The math is not close. So here's the complete Wealthsimple setup, step by step. Which account first, managed or do it yourself, sign up funding your first buy. And the one fee that quietly bites beginners on their very first trade. Stay for that. It's a 30-second fix. Quick credibility check. I did all of this the wrong way first. Bank branch 2% fund, cash sitting around for years. Step 1, and the question everybody gets stuck on, which account do you actually open? There are more than a dozen to pick from. For a beginner, the answer is almost always the TFSA, tax-free growth, tax-free withdrawals, and no paperwork when you take money out. That's the first answer you came for, and it took 40 seconds. Why TFSA first? Because the RRSP's whole trick is a tax refund, and that refund is only big when your income is big. Starting out, it usually isn't. The TFSA doesn't care what you earn, it just quietly stops taxing you forever. This year's room is $7,000. Been an adult since 2009 and never opened one. About 109,000 is waiting. Yes, it stacks up whether you noticed or not. The government's one genuinely generous habit. So when does the RRSP make sense? Later, once your income climbs and that refund is worth bragging about. We did a whole video on the crossover. One exception worth knowing. If a first home is in your picture, there's a third door. The FHSA, First Home Savings Account. $8,000 a year, $40,000 lifetime. A tax deduction going in. Tax-free coming out if it goes to a home. Saving for a down payment? Open that one first. Everyone else, TFSA, decision made. Next, step 2. Inside that account, Wealthsimple gives you 2 ways to invest. Managed. They build and rebalance a portfolio for you. That costs about 0.5% a year, a touch less past 100,000. Or self-directed, you pick the ETF and trades cost $0. 0.5% sounds like nothing. It's 2.5 times the ETF's own fee every year forever for a job you can do in one tap. That's rent on your own money. For a one-ticket index investor, self-directed wins, and it is not a hard choice. You'll buy one thing. Occasionally, that's the whole job. If you genuinely never log in and never rebalance, fine, managed exists for you. No judgment, mild judgment. Step 3, sign up. Open Wealthsimple, links in the description, and start the account you just picked. The form is the easy part. Email, password, then the identity bit. Your name, date of birth, address, and your social insurance number. Yes, the SIN is normal. Every registered account in Canada needs it. The CRA has to know whose tax-free room you're using. One profile covers everything. The TFSA today, an RRSP or FHSA later. You don't re-register, you just add a room to the house. Pick TFSA, pick self-directed, and you're in. Total elapsed time, roughly 1 kettle. Step 4. Money in. You link your bank account and move money over or send an Interac e-transfer straight in. A regular bank transfer takes a few business days to settle. Plan for it. Nobody needs to start investing at midnight on a Tuesday. Start with an amount you won't miss. 500, 50. The habit matters more than the number. Add more the second it feels boring. Bank transfer deposits are free. Regular withdrawals are free. Moving your whole account out later, also free. Remember that when your bank says otherwise. There's one-page shortcut. Instant withdrawal. That one costs about 2.5%. 2.5% to be impatient. So the rule, this is investing money, not next Friday money. Your emergency fund lives somewhere boring. This account is allowed to be slow. Money's in. Now the part people film entire 40-minute videos about, buying something. Step 5. We're halfway and that first trade fee I promised is still coming. First, the easy part, what to buy. For most beginners, the honest answer is a one-ticket index ETF, one fund that holds thousands of companies around the world and rebalances itself. The example I use is XEQT, all equity global and one of the cheapest tickets in the country. Not advice. It's the one I'm comfortable explaining. In the app, tap search and type the ticker. The fund page shows you the price, the holdings, and the fee. That fee line is the only number on this screen I'd actually memorize. $0 to buy it, 1/5 of 1% to own it. That's the whole cost structure of a modern index investor. My bank needed a meeting room for that. Tap buy. Choose an amount in dollars, not shares. Because fractional shares let you start from $1. You never have to save up for a whole share again. $50 buys $50 of the world. Confirm. And that is your first trade. Congratulations. You now own a slice of several thousand companies and a coffee cost more. That's the hard part behind you. You own the thing now. Honest Canadian money math every week, if that's useful to you. Subscribe. You don't need fancy order types for this. Buy, hold, add to it. The only strategy that ever needed a glossary was the expensive one. Now the fee, here's where beginners get bitten and nobody warns them because it doesn't look like a fee. Buy a US listed fund, the ones priced in US dollars, from a Canadian dollar account, and your money gets converted first. That costs about 1.5%. $1,000 buy, about $15 gone before you own a thing. Do that monthly, and congratulations, but you've accidentally subscribed to a service that does nothing for you. The fix in 30 seconds. Option 1, the beginner's answer. Buy the Canadian listed version. XEQ trades in Canadian dollars on a Canadian exchange. No conversion, no fee. Done. Most one-ticket ETFs hold the American companies for you inside a Canadian wrapper. You get the United States without paying the toll at the border. Option 2 for later, Wealthsimple has a US dollar account. Convert once in bigger chunks, then trade in US dollars without the repeat fee. On the basic plan, it's about $10 a month, so it only earns its keep once real money is moving. Beginners option 1, park option 2. 30 seconds, one rule, Canadian listed first. That single habit is worth more than every stock tip you'll ever get at a barbecue. Step 6, and it's the one that actually makes you wealthy, automation. Pick a day, pick an amount. Let the app move the money without asking your willpower. Recurring deposit, the day after payday, automatically. Then recurring buy, the same fund, the same amount, the same day. It buys whether the market is up, down, or on the news. This is the habit I didn't have for years. I had a branch, a brochure, and a plan to get around to it. Getting around to it cost me more than any fee. With the buy automated, your job becomes don't touch it, which I'll be honest is harder than it sounds in October. Raise the amount every time it starts to feel boring. Boring is the whole point. Boring is how a kettle's worth of setup becomes a retirement. Step 8, and it's the one that stops people cold. You already have money somewhere else. A bank, RRSP, a mutual fund with a name like a law firm. You do not withdraw it. Say that back to me. Withdrawing from an RRSP is a taxable event, and it burns that room permanently. You transfer it. A transfer moves the account itself in place with the tax shelter still wrapped around it. The government never sees a withdrawal. In the app, it's under move. Pick the account you're moving into, then the institution you're moving from. 2 flavors. In-kind moves your investments exactly as they are. The same holdings land on the other side. Still yours, still invested. In cash sells everything first and moves the money. Cash is simpler. In kind keeps you invested while the paperwork crawls through a fax machine somewhere. Leaving a bank mutual fund you never wanted? Cash is fine. Moving an ETF you actually chose? In kind every time. Now the toll. Your old institution charges you to leave, because of course it does, $50 to $150 typically. The exit toll, and who ends up paying it. Charging you a fee to stop being their customer. Let that sit for a second. That is a bloody ripoff dressed up as an administration cost. Wealthsimple's wording is plain. Bring over $25,000 and they reimburse your transfer out fee once your money lands. Under $25,000, you wear the fee yourself. Usually still worth it. 1 year of the fee difference pays it back, and then some. The transfer takes weeks, not minutes. It travels through the other institution's back office, and nobody has ever accused that department of urgency. Start it, then leave it alone. Phoning daily will not make a bank move faster. Nothing has ever made a bank move faster. One warning, because it panics everyone. For a stretch, the money shows on neither side. It hasn't gone anywhere. It's in the post. 2 minutes on security. This is an account holding your money and your social insurance number, and beginners skip this bit constantly. Settings, then security, then two-factor authentication. Turn it on. Yes, now, not later. Use an authenticator app rather than text codes if you can. Text goes to your phone number, and phone numbers get stolen by people who are very good at phoning your carrier. Then write the backup codes down and put them somewhere that is not your phone. A drawer, a tin, anywhere physical and boring. Because the disaster that actually happens isn't a hacker. It's a cracked screen, a new handset, and no way back into your own money. Lock the email on the account too. Whoever owns your inbox owns every reset link you will ever be sent. Step 7, so the one most setup videos skip, the checking account. The fastest way to fund investing is a paycheck that already lands in the same app. Wealthsimple's checking pays interest. On the entry plan, it's about 1.25% on your balance, calculated daily, paid monthly. Set up a direct deposit of at least $2,000 a month, and the rate gets a 0.5% boost. Bigger balances with them, bigger rate. Rates change, so check the app. Your bank's checking pays, say it with me, basically nothing, and then charges you a monthly fee for the privilege of holding it. That is a bloody ripoff with a branch attached. Now the fees, because this is where the bank comparison gets rude. Monthly account fee, 0. Minimum balance, 0. Interac e-transfers free. Foreign purchases on the card, no exchange fee from them. And ATM withdrawals in Canada or abroad, they reimburse the fees the machine charges you. The card itself is a prepaid MasterCard, digital and physical, a no credit check because it's your own money. It works like a good debit card with better manners. Canadian checks still exist, still handled. Take a photo of the front and back in the app and it's processed in about 6 business days. Cash? Walk into one of about 5,300 Canada Post locations and deposit it there. Bills get paid from the app. Wires cost a flat $20 out, free, and need an actual checkbook? Free once your paycheck lands there. Which brings us to the trick that makes the whole machine run itself. Direct deposit. Point your paycheck at this account, and 2 things happen. You can get paid up to a day early, and you can tell the app to auto-invest a slice of every paycheck before you ever see it. That's the automation from step 6 with one less step. The bank was never going to offer you that. Its entire checking business model is you forgetting the fee exists, and it has worked on you for years. Next, borrowing. Three things on this shelf, and a beginner needs exactly none of them today, but you'll see them in the app, so here's what they are. One, overdraft. The checking has no overdraft fee. If a purchase runs past your balance, the app can cover it with a portfolio line of credit, borrowing against your own investments. It's a real loan at a real rate, secured on your portfolio, so not a fee-free cushion the bank is being nice about, which is a proper grown-up feature, and also the one place in this whole video where you can genuinely hurt yourself. Read it twice. The mechanics, it's a margin account. You need a couple of thousand in the account before it counts at all. More if what you hold bounces around. And the limit is a share of what you hold, not all of it. So the app decides what your collateral is actually worth, not you. And it cuts both ways. Markets drop, your borrowing room drops with them. That's the part the brochure whispers on page 9 in gray. 2, there's a 2% cashback credit card. It has a monthly fee. Waived if your direct deposit is big enough or your balance with them is. That one is a credit check. Later. 3, mortgages. They're a broker now, shopping across a couple dozen lenders with a bit of cash back. File under when the FHSA does its job. Beginner's version of that whole shelf, it exists. Your TFSA can back it once there's something in it, and your job this year is the TFSA and the paycheck. Back to the gotchas. Rapid fire gotchas, because the comments are faster than I am. Is it safe? Your investments sit with a regulated Canadian dealer, and the accounts carry investor protection, some within limits, if the firm itself ever went under. Their checking balances sit in trust across several partner banks, up to about $1 million of deposit insurance combined. The bank failure kind of safe. What it is not is insurance against the market going down. Nothing is. If your fund drops, that's investing, not a scandal. Crypto in the app is not covered by that investor protection. Different rules, different risk. The beginner setup doesn't need it. Withdrawals from a TFSA are tax-free anytime, but the room you use doesn't come back until January 1st. Don't put it back in the same year. And manage to self-directed, or the other way, you can switch later. Nothing here is a life sentence except the 2% fund you came from. Step 10, the one nobody films, your first tax season with this account. It's far less than you're bracing for. TFSA, nothing. No slip, no line on your return, nothing to report. That is the entire point of it. The tax system looks away on purpose. RRSP, you get a contribution receipt. That's the paper that turns your deposit into a refund. So losing it is losing money. Slips and receipts live under documents in the app. They appear there. Nothing gets posted to you. FHSA gives you a slip as well, and it behaves like the RRSP one. The contribution comes off your income. A non-registered account is the one with real homework. Dividends reported, interest reported, and every single sale reported, which is the quiet argument for filling the TFSA first. It isn't only tax-free, it's paperwork-free, and your February will thank you. Timing trips, people. Registered receipts arrive in winter, investment slips later, often well into March. File in February, and you can end up filing twice. Check documents before you file, not after. And when a slip is late, it's late everywhere. That's the whole system's fault, not the app's. Before the summary, 4 mistakes. I have personally made 3 of them, and I watched a friend make the 4th while telling me he had it handled. 1. Over-contributing to the TFSA. Your room is yours, not per account. And this is the number that catches the most careful people. Hold a TFSA at your bank. Open one here. And you still have one room shared across both. 2 accounts, 1 limit, no exceptions. 1 room. Every account you own. Go over and the Canada Revenue Agency charges 1% a month on the excess, calculated on the highest amount you were over during that month. Putting some of it back mid-month doesn't help. They use the high watermark. Take the whole excess out today, not in April when you remember. And 1% a month is the gentle version. Park money in there on purpose, knowing you're over, and the CRA can tax the whole benefit at 100%. 100, not a fee, not a penalty rate, the entire advantage taken back. That rule exists specifically to stop people who think they found a trick. And if you've left Canada, it compounds. A non-resident who over contributes can be charged twice over the excess tax plus a second monthly one purely for having contributed as a non-resident. If you do owe it, it gets its own return. Form RC 243, due June the 30th of the year after. Not your normal filing deadline. Diarize it. 2. Recontributing a withdrawal in the same calendar year, 5,000 out in June, 5,000 back in November. That counts as a brand new contribution. Your room returns on January the 1st, not before. This one bites good savers hardest because it feels like your own money simply coming home. 3. Buying the US listed version because some video told you the fee was 3 basis points lower. The fee is lower. Then the 1.5% conversion eats the difference twice, and you have paid handsomely for the privilege of being clever. Canadian listed first. We covered it. It is still the mistake I see most, and it is entirely avoidable. 4. Checking it every day. No fee attached to this one. It quietly costs the most. A number that moves daily makes you want to do something. Doing something is how beginners lose to their own portfolio. Set the recurring buy. Look once a quarter. That's the whole job. Boring is not a compromise here. Boring is the strategy. So, the whole setup. Open a TFSA, FHSA if a house is coming. Pick self-directed. Sign up, fund it, buy one Canadian listed index ETF from as little as $1, automate the next buy, and point your paycheck at the checking account so the whole thing runs itself. 15 minutes, one kettle, and your fee just lost a decimal place. My younger self would like a word with my bank. If you're building this alongside me, that's what this channel is. A Canadian working it out in public with the receipts. Subscribe and come along. Comments. Which account did you open first? TFSA, RRSP, or FHSA? And what was your first buy? I read everyone and I have opinions. Next, the full beginner's roadmap. How to invest in Canada, step by step, from paying off debt to your first automated buy. The natural sequel. See you there. General information about how the rules work, not financial advice. Just a dad who finally read the fee line.